Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to yet another mystery blind beer tasting with me, Peter, the master of Hoppets, today, challenged by Brett of Anomyces. Brett is challenging me again, but I want to be challenging him today as well.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get more of these videos because you guys seem to enjoy them, so we're doing more.
Yeah.
So deal is here. I just need to use my senses and figure out what I'm drinking.
Yeah.
And we're not really helping each other anymore.
No, I'll try not to help you.
We'll try it. Yeah, sometimes we end up doing it anyways. But Brett is in the video. We've done that in the last couple of times, just because like it's better than like a voice shouting off camera.
Yeah.
So, but the beer we're trying is a black beer, and it looks nice. It looks fairly luxurious in the glass, and it has a nice tight looking tan roasty looking head as well. It looks very nice. Whoops. Wet stem society. Yeah. But yeah, it looks like a nice black beer. Let's check out the aroma.
Yep.
Yeah, so dark fruity. I'm getting umami. So it's definitely an imperial stout or stroke imperial porter. It has a little bit of a British dark fruit quality, but it could also just be more of a classic stout. I'm getting lots of roast and char and burnt notes, which is quite nice actually. Also, there's a touch of vanilla and a touch of hops almost. A touch of alcohol too. Maybe I'm also like a charry, smoky edge. It smells really good actually, but it smells quite old money. And fruity.
Yeah.
Let's try it. Cheers.
Let's drink it. Cheers.
Oh, really umami heavy and charry and roasty and full. Really roasty and rich. This drink's like a stout that was made 5 to 8 years ago, almost. Like really robust. Really like it's something that makes new money pastry bros run screaming, because this one's got a huge roasted malt profile, and you don't see that a lot anymore. Hello, ghost. Don't come in here now.
I'm also thinking it's very rich and thick.
It's really rich. It's really tasty. I've actually missed stouts like this a bit. I think that might be also the reason why I was so surprised by the faux hammer from Holy Goat. It's similar to something like that. It has less of a dark fruity English yeast vibe. It's more of maybe just like a dark fruity malt vibe. There is some hoppiness to it as well, which is because it's also surprisingly bitter. But it's definitely it's a big imperial stout, and it's at least 12%, if not stronger, I think. It has a huge body, very nice residual sweetness without being too much. Very roast forward, very full, slick, and rich. It's really good. It's really good, but it's old money. You have to like cherry beers. There's a bit of alcohol warmth, but otherwise that's like the only thing. But I didn't like. It's really rich. I'm guessing it's a straight imperial stout. It's not barrel aged.
It's barrel aged.
Whoa, okay, interesting. It is barrel aged. I'm not getting much of a... Then it's not a bourbon barrel. Or it's been aged in barrels for not crazy amounts of time.
It's double barrel aged, but...
What?
Yeah, in rum and bourbon.
Rum and bourbon. I'm not getting loads of barrel character.
I think maybe it's because we had that crazy wet barrel... bourbon barrel aged imperial stout earlier.
Okay, maybe I can see some rum at least because of the fruitiness.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's the fruitiness in there. But now you already helped.
Yeah, but you asked.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay, that's impressive. I couldn't pinpoint barrel aging. I was thinking straight old school stout, but I think I was confused by the whole dark fruit. And that must be rum, because rum can give those flavors. Okay, but with the base and robustness and everything, I'm really leaning towards that this could be a stout from either Perjala or Pyhaste, because they usually make stouts of this caliber. and with this kind of like roast profile, or not usually, but some of them. But I don't know, you know, I can't fathom a specific one. Initially, I was actually thinking Hoppin Frog, and I was thinking they're Boris and Doris, maybe Doris or Quaris, like the bigger ones. But it's drinking like beers of stouts of that era because it has so much roast. But it's really fucking good. It is. But now that I know that it was barrel aged, I must say I'm a little bit disappointed. Both in the fact that I did not catch the barrels and the fact that the barrels are not shining as much. And I don't know if it's because the beer is so intense, the base, and then it's maybe not been barrel aged for so long, and maybe the barrel, at least again, the bourbon doesn't get to shine at all, but the rum might be the fruitiness that's in there. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that sense because if I didn't actually, so this is funny. If I didn't know already that if this was not barrel aged, I would probably give it like a 94 or a 95 because it has awesome flavors. But now that I know it's barrel aged and I'm not getting loads of barrel flavor besides maybe a dark fruit, I don't want to grade it that high. So I'm leaning towards maybe a 93 or 4, but still 93, 92 maybe. Something like that. Like I'm not getting a lot of, like, especially bourbon. Do you smell a lot of bourbon?
I'm getting a lot of woody character.
Yeah. There's definitely some wood.
I'm not getting that super wet, fresh barrel.
But that might be the whole point I made earlier in the video about Europeans not getting fresh barrels. So I'm guessing it's a European.
I think it has a lot of woody character, to be honest, and also I think it has the deeper kind of toasty, charry, tobacco-esque notes from barrels, but it doesn't have that fresh, fudgy vanilla thing.
But the reason why I didn't think of that is because really heavy roast also gives those kind of flavors. Especially also with age. But really interesting. But okay, I think your point with Moxa as well. We had some beer that was in really wet barrels. And
super intense.
And I think if you drank that, you'd pinpoint it immediately. But with this, because it's more subdued, it's harder. So I'm guessing it could be a long barrel aging. It's just because maybe not the barrels were as fresh. But I'm going to guess it's a Perjala or Piasta barrel aged stout because it reminds me of some of their stouts they've done that's been barrel aged. But I mean, are they this? No, they're sweeter. They're not this roasty. Yeah, I'm going to stick to that. Estonian stout, imperial stout, that I now know that's barrel aged. But yeah. So I'm going to close my eyes and you can show me what's going down.
Yes. So guys, I'll start off with showing it to you. Okay, so Morten already opened his eyes. But so yeah, you can see maybe what it is here. And now I'll turn the bottle more or less towards the guys and they'll see what it is. So
I can open my eyes?
3, 2, 1, now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Galway Bay. I've never had a beer from them.
No. So they're probably the most hyped like barrel aged or stout brewery in the UK at the moment. So I thought it would be fun to check out what they're doing. And so this is the biggest beer that they've done apparently until now. It's a 33 Plato stout. Or before they fermented it. And so it's lagered in steel tanks for 1 year before being aged in bourbon and rum barrels for an additional 9 months. So it's not a super long barrel aging.
So that might be the point.
Yeah.
So that's why there's not a lot of barrel character.
But I also think it's because the base beer is such a huge beer that it could easily take a bit more barrel aging.
Yes, it needs longer time because the base is so beastly that it's more intense than the actual barrel flavors.
Yeah.
Which makes it...
Which is rarely the case in Europe, actually.
But it's a lovely fucking beer. But if this was like... as I said there with my grading, I would probably give it a 95 if this was not barrel aged. Because it seems like a dick move. But with barrel aging, you will expect another extra layer. And usually, like, you could pinpoint it. But like, Morten behind the camera also didn't really pinpoint it. And I think it's a term of the base beer being, as you said, so intense. because it's heavy on roast and everything, but it tastes awesome. Like I just wanted to knock grades off because if a beer is barrel aged, I want to taste the barrel. And blind, I couldn't. And I don't want to say it could also be my fault because my palate hasn't been in tune. It can be many things. So it might sound like a D-bag move, dropping it down. To be honest,
I think it has to do with.
but I think it just has to do with the level of disappointment when you learn a beer is barrel aged, and then you don't get the exact level of flavor that we had moments ago in a beer that was barrel aged.
Yeah.
So it's from like crazy wet barrels with huge intensity of spirit to this, which is like an undertone.
Yeah.
So 9 months, it ain't enough.
It's much more like a nuance of barrels in this one.
It could also be the fact, and it could also be the fact that like the barrels they only aged it for 9 months in the barrels because maybe the barrels weren't like crazy fresh, so they're like, let's pull it.
Exactly.
So that could also be part of it. So the beer just didn't end up too dry.
Yeah.
But like, what a beastly base! It reminds me of Torres Juarez, like those beers, and I really thought it would be one of those initially.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I didn't think it was fruity enough on the yeast profile to be English.
And it's really
but then
thick.
the rum explains it.
It's really coating
Yeah.
and rich and has a lot of body. I was really surprised when it hit my palate,
What do you say original gravity was?
33 Plato?
It will be very interesting to try the beers I've done in the vein like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I guess it's a good case of, the fresh barrel thing and
Yes.
also for how long you barrel age
yes,
and stuff, because this beer could easily pull a bit more.
this could do a minimum of like 18 months in the barrel
Yeah.
when the base is this beastly, and fresh barrels. And if the barrels are not crazy fresh, then maybe do 9 months and then do another barrel that's around the same freshness for another 9 months just to get more spirit character into the mix.
Yeah.
Because like that's the only thing that's lacking. And I think I would also love it if I bought it, but as with tasting it blind, my disappointment would also be like, I just bought a barrel aged beer that doesn't have a lot of barrel character.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. So thanks for the challenge, Brad.
Yeah. Of course.
If you guys already had a chance to try Galway Bay's Counting of the Days, let us know what you thought of it. Double barrel aged imperial stout in rum and bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys had it, let us know. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, and stay tuned. Stay tuned for another blind tasting because they're fun to do. And we're gonna say cheers and check out the social media and all that jazz. And see you guys in another beer review.